Okay, so tonight is our photo night, best faves. I can't remember what the other option was. Who wants to go first? Let's see. Jeff, you sent me some pictures. Do you want to go first? And I'll go ahead and bring those up.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds great.
Hopefully the pictures will show and you won't have to look at me.
Okay, well, let me work on that right now. I worked with Liz earlier today, and we we came up with a good plan. But now let's see. Oh, here we go. Share screen. It's the big green button down at the bottom here. There we go. Okay, can you see some butterflies on the screen?
Yeah.
Sure
Yes.
can.
Okay.
Okay.
Then, Jeff.
And can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Well, these are just a few random pictures that I got this year. And I wanted to, first of all, feature our Indra swallowtail. May is the month our swallowtails here in Lemhi County, Idaho, for those of you that don't realize where I'm from. So I'm a little bit out of Washington, but in Lemhi County, Idaho, May through the middle of June is a really good time to catch our swallowtails. And we have 6 different swallowtails that visit our area. And but one of the most prolific are the Indras, and it's nothing to find them puddling in by the dozens. And this picture here shows a number of the Indras with a few anise and a pale swallowtail over on the far right-hand side. And that photo was taken May 22nd of this spring.
Well, you got over a dozen right there.
Yeah. They are one of our most commonly seen swallowtails, especially early in the season, and they're a real treat. So this is a hot spot for them for sure.
Okay, I brought up your next photo.
Okay, well, as you can tell, this is a Milbert's tortoiseshell, and this was taken on June 9th of this year. This is a butterfly that overwinters here. It's one of the first ones I see in the spring. I've seen them as early as mid-March on one of those nice warm sunny days. So they're definitely overwintering. Then about the middle of May, I find lots and lots of caterpillars on stinging nettle, of which we have plenty stinging nettles here. And so starting usually in about June, we start seeing the fresh ones. So I know they're not a real uncommon butterfly, but they're certainly attractive.
That's a beautiful photograph too, Jeff.
Thanks.
Can I interject something right here?
Sure.
I know Milbert Tortoiseshell is a good name and it's time honored, but Jim Scott, who just passed away earlier this year, he had another name for these, and I actually kind of like it. Fire rim.
Oh, nice.
I've seen them called that, and I think that's a good name for sure.
Okay, and we got our most popular butterfly that everybody knows.
Right,
No.
Viceroy.
Yeah.
The monarch mimic. I see these in July is the month that I start seeing them here, and we have a lot of willows in our riparian areas. Our main river here in Lemhi County is the Salmon River, the River of No Return, as it's called, and a tributary is the Lemhi River. So those are our two main water courses. And anywhere you find willows, you often find the viceroys. So they're a butterfly that starting in July, we were able to see here.
Okay, and then we got this beauty here.
It's a Mormon metal mark. I understand that it's the metal mark that occurs to the north. There are many of them in the southern United States and in Mexico, but this is the only member of this species that gets as far north. And this is always a treat for me. This photo was taken August of this year, August and September, and I never see these until that time. So it's always a treat after seeing all the spring butterflies, all the swallowtails and whatnot, to have a little treat waiting for me later in the season, in later summer. These often I find nectaring on Hoary alyssum, I believe it's called, the little white petaled flower, and which is kind of neat because the Hoary alyssum is with us all season long, starting in the spring, but I don't see butterflies utilizing it all that much early on, and I always kind of felt that it was a matter of as the blooms start to diminish, it's one of the ones that's still there, so they'll concentrate on that. But if I can find a nice a patch of Hoary alyssum, I often will find these Mormon metal marks.
Okay, and let's see, I think this is your last photo here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is the Compton tortoiseshell, and it overwinters here. I can go out on a warm day in the spring and find ones that have overwintered, and they overwinter in colonies. So often I can find a number of them, and they're pretty beat up, having spent the winter. But in August, starting around the 1st of August, is when they emerge, and I can see some really nice, bright examples of some freshly emerged ones. And the funny thing about these is there is only one drainage in our county, in a riparian area, that I've found these. I've looked. I have probably a dozen or 14 places that I regularly visit, and have looked and looked, and I've only found these in this one spot, and it's about as steep as a cow's face to get there. So it makes me appreciate them even more because I have to work pretty hard to get there to find them. But I know these are not commonly seen. I mean, I know they're somewhat widespread, but they're one of my favorites. So there you go.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Jeff. Beautiful photographs, really, really nice. So Gary, do you want me to pull up your photo, and do you want to talk about that? Gary, are you there?
Yep. Am I good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, let's get my face down there. Okay. Yeah, I've been driving myself nuts trying to find Apodemia mormel. I can find really nice host plants and nectar sources, but no mormel. I've been all over, well, 5 different places in the Enumclaw area. And but I was down at the Umtanum however you pronounce that, parking lot, and just across the bridge, you hang a right, you go down to the water, and I saw a whole bunch of Pierrots, I think mostly males. I videotaped, but there was one weirdo in there. Could you show my photo?
Yep.
Where is it?
See it?
Why don't I see it?
So who's gonna call it?
All I
Come
can
on,
see is
somebody
a
out
bunch
there
of
knows
blue
what
guys.
it is.
Huh?
Somebody in the audience knows who that is.
Yep.
That's something I never seen. Northern White Skipper.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, and so this thing was zinging
Nice
in and
shot.
out and in and out. And I took a long video, and finally I got it down to where I could just snap up this thing. And I had no clue as to what it was, so I thought I would leave it to you experts.
Well, there's a great story behind that and Tanum Creek. We call it Tanum. I have no idea what's right or wrong. The whole thing is that the whole county of Kittitas had like 5 records until 4 years ago, right? And then there was a fire, and it went all the way from above the mouth of Tanum at the recreation area, all the way up to North Weenast Road. And, it did a lot of destruction, but what it did was it promoted the growth of this skipper's food plant, Iliamna rivularis, a globe mallow, a big bushy mallow. And these guys went nuts. They've been nuts now for 2 years. So, now we had never, that was a well-sampled place, and we never had any sampled there before. So, it just goes to show that, we don't always know what's happening. We got to keep on our toes. So it's a great photograph.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see my cursor. Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the oddball here. The others are the common cabbage white, and here's
How
the
come I can't see anything? I'm just seeing you guys. What do I have to do?
I don't maybe you're looking at the gallery view.
Yeah, what speaker? No, that's me. I don't want to look at me.
No,
Folks,
I'm not sure.
I can see you.
If you go to full screen, I think you'll be able to get the shared screen that you.
Meeting view.
I
Where
have
do
mine on side-by-side speaker. But
share screen, summary, record reactions. Where do
So-
I,
under view,
under view,
yeah.
I have show manage participants and show chat. That's what I have. under
Well,
view.
view is in the upper right corner on my screen.
It's on the upper left in mine.
It says view.
Yeah. Well,
you don't
enough
have
about me. Why don't you go on to
Yeah, but you can't see your picture.
Well, that's true, but I've seen it before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows what we're talking about. This is the skipper that we're talking about here amongst the cabbage whites.
And
Okay.
Gary, excuse me, Paulette, can I just say something to Gary? Gary, I think you sent me an email and it disappeared and you were asking about the Mormo.
Well,
I-
yeah, I was asking about, has anybody seen Mormo?
yes, well, I was
Eagle
just
area.
going
Sure
to,
haven't, and I've spent, well, the last 2 days solid looking all over.
Did you go to Risa Creek?
yeah, I was just
All
gonna,
kinds of
finish my
beautiful host
statement.
plant in well, flowers.
The Ariogenoelatum, the lower field down there?
Yep,
And you didn't see any Mormo, huh?
no Mormo.
There's none flying there right now. I was there on the weekend. I did see one. No, I saw two that was further into the shrub step, but only two. And then I did see one at Tanum Rec area. But along Reeser Creek Road, they're not flying yet. At least they weren't. But that's usually a good place to see them.
And my favorite place are the viewpoints, I-82 north and south, mainly south.
Up
And
on Monastes
Nothing
Ridge.
happening there. But lots of beautiful rabbit brush.
Yeah.
Loaded with flies and bees.
That should work.
Yeah.
I don't know what the timing of metal marks is over at that side, but here around Spokane, they would have come and gone already.
Yeah, ours last into the middle of September. It's been a weird year, we got to remember that it started
Really
off kind of weird and it kind of stumbled along. Everything seemed to have gotten caught up, but some things got ahead. It wasn't, ordinary.
Well, something really weird was that about a week ago, I checked those sites at the viewpoints, and the rabbit brush wasn't even in nectar. There were no bees, no flies. So it hadn't even, it was really late. So,
Well, then if you persist, you may end up finding Mormon metal marks yet.
I'll persist. But you guys, anybody finds a bunch, let me know. I'll go there.
Okay.
We were seeing them over here around Spokane about 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure they're still in flight.
Oh, they wouldn't be. If they came out that early there.
Okay, who else has some photos they'd like to share?
Are you kidding me, man? Didn't you
Oh.
have some?
Well,
I
I
got a
don't have
couple.
anything fancy, but I do have a few that I can share.
Okay,
After
shoot.
the WBA study weekend, I was going directly across the state to Mount Baker for the Native Plant Society study weekend. And on the way, Cheryl took me to what she calls Whistler Meadows, which probably some of you know about, on Highway 20. So I've got some pictures from there. Let me see about sharing my screen. Probably ought to unmute also. Let's see.
You're not muted right now.
No, you're not muted.
Mine
Yeah,
is,
I just unmuted it.
mine
Okay,
is a big green button that says share screen.
I've got it. It
Okay,
just has
great.
pick each photo individually.
Oh, beautiful.
This is one of my favorites, and I hardly ever get to see these Hoffman's checker spots. There were a bunch of them in this meadow. It's pretty high up in between Rainy and Washington passes on Highway 20. So everything was in bloom, and there were just butterflies everywhere. So it was a really nice place to stop in between study weekends. So I think I have to stop and restart for each photo. I mean, I can try.
You don't have a little arrow on the edge?
What are you seeing now?
We're seeing the Hoffmans.
Okay. I don't have a little arrow, so let me just stop and restart. That's okay. Only takes a moment. Yeah,
Beautiful.
I did get some really good pictures. I'm really pleased. You get so excited that you forget all the different controls on the camera. So
So you want to call this one out, Regina?
oh yes, Mariposa Copper. And yeah, there were lots of those too. And that was just a really nice shot on a nice leafy bract aster.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Let me find another one here. So we got that. Oh, this one. Oh, I have to hold on. Let me share again. Where'd it go? This guy. Now this one, I didn't put a name on it, and I don't remember. Is this the Edith?
The what?
A room full of experts here. Somebody tell me what that is.
The purplish.
Oh,
Yep.
Exactly.
all right. Okay. He's just sitting there on that fireweed. He's not actually nectaring. I've never seen a butterfly nectar on fireweed. Lots of other bugs like it.
It's a nice photo.
That red zigzag on the hindwing is just gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can actually see just a faint little flush of lavender on that one. So that's really nice. Okay, let's find my next one. Let's see, we did that. And go back and share. Isn't this fun?
Oh, pretty one.
Yeah, Claudius.
Mark.
Really like these guys. I like how transparent their wings are. It's amazing.
You know what I like is look at the naked abdomen. You know, those female Clodius, they have no scales on their abdomen. It's like bare exoskeleton.
Yeah. So which Clodius is this?
It's called Parnassus Clodius.
So
Clodius.
Yeah,
Parnassian.
the other Parnassian is the mountain Parnassian, and
Right.
those wings aren't nearly as
Right.
transparent.
Hmm,
So
Cool.
I'm getting the hang of my camera.
Yeah, doing good.
Okay, let's see. I think I got one more that I lined up here. Let's see. That one. Okay. This one. Oop, not there.
There it is.
That one. So this is actually someplace different. This is in the Olympics.
Oh,
And normally when we see butterflies in the Olympics, what we get is Hydaspes fritillaries and we get Mariposa coppers. And this is not
Regina, can you zoom in a little bit so we can see it a little bit better?
possibly. Let me. There we go.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, great.
Look at that.
Very
So,
nice.
yeah, Mary McCallum and I were actually way up high around the headwaters of the Hump Tulips River where we had absolutely no business driving. So I decided after a while, I'm not driving any further. Stopped the car and we just got out and walked, which is a good thing because we came to a really big washout soon afterwards that would have been no place to turn around at. But anyway, that's what the Olympics are like. But so we saw
Melanie,
this.
Melanie,
Yes, sir.
call this.
All this.
Call this. Which butterfly is that?
Oh, okay. It's a female, and I'm not seeing lavender. So the trick is you're asking me to ID it, so I have a feeling it's a tricky butterfly.
No.
Okay, I would say purplish copper.
That's exactly right.
That's what we ended up with too. Yeah, no, it's not showing any purple, but it does have the orange zigzag and it's not Mariposa, which is what we would normally see.
Mhm.
So that was pretty exciting. I mean, way up in the Olympics, but I think the abandoned logging roads in the Olympics are actually providing really good butterfly habitat. And this is a south-facing ridge. So it was just full of the pearly everlasting and all kinds of other nectar sources.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the middle of rainforest. Otherwise, it's, Alaska cedar and silver fir all around you, mountain hemlock. But there's this long strip that goes for miles of a crumbling logging road that nobody can drive on anymore, hardly.
wow.
Butterfly habitat. Yep.
Very nice.
Great. Okay, well, thank you for sharing, Regina.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. That was great.
Liz? It's Regina.
Huh?
It was Regina.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got confused by yeah, right. Sorry.
Since
Thanks.
you called on me, I can go next.
So is that your cue, Liz?
See what I mean?
There we go. Yeah.
See what I can do here. All right, share. Where's my little? All right, I gotta find my, get Zoom out of there. Oops, get that out of there. Gosh, I was all ready for this and then, okay. So here we go. Come on.
Sylvia, do you recognize that one?
So I kind of cheated. So I put my wallpaper as one of the butterflies.
Can
I
you
went
get,
over my limit.
there we go.
Here we go.
But
Okay.
Liz, can you go back? And can we just confirm what that is?
Oh, yeah.
Confirm what this is?
Yeah.
That's the pygmy.
That is the gigantic blue.
I should
Look
have
at it, it's huge.
Its appearance is gigantic.
Well, it's a great photograph, Liz. It's really
Yeah.
beautiful. So
A lot of
I just
detail.
want people to call out what they have, or ask for help with it, because not everybody knows the butterflies as well. So so thank you for calling that out, Sylvia.
So the first three are actually ones I need help IDing. So I went the WABA weekend, and then they, let's see, I think it was David Droppers did a lovely job of displaying these, and I got great photographs, but I forgot to write down what they are. So here's one, and it was up there in the near Melanie Falls. So I haven't a clue what it is. So you're on the spot, John.
I am last resort. Melanie, give it a shot.
I knew you were going to do that.
I knew you were gonna get me to do that.
Okay, so what I'm seeing is that sort of central part of the hind wing has, to me in this picture, has a rusty brown color.
Right in there.
Yes, and so I was going with Zerini, the was it the sub-marginal band of beige also is typical, that it would be kind of clean in there, so it's not Hydaspes. Coronis has big spots, and so this one does have some big spots. So, you know, I'm kind of thinking, oh, could it be a Coronis? But then I go back to that central color, and Zerini's, I believe that post-median band, the spots are a little more elongated. So I would call it Zerini, but I could be convinced it was
Would
Coronis.
you just stop that? You could have called it Dream to start with, and Pelham would have said, "Yeah, baby, you had it. You knew what it
Okay.
was."
Just wanted to
Yeah.
share my thinking.
Yeah, thank you for that, Melanie. I know that experts
No,
like
it's
John
good.
just recognize it, but it's really helpful to hear someone talk through how they analyzed it. So thank you.
That's why I
Feel
stayed
like-
out of it. Yeah.
So this one is one of those ones where you kind of got the backlighting.
Nice.
We're up by Melanie Falls, and we were seeing a lot of sulfurs. So I got 2 sulfurs, but I wasn't sure if this was the pink edged or the other one.
So John, you were telling, I'm sorry, Liz, go ahead. Didn't mean to
Okay,
interrupt.
so sulfur number 2, butterfly number 2 is a sulfur something or another.
Go ahead, Melanie.
No, John and I had a conversation about these, and I'm seeing a hint of orange. And what he told me is that as you move east into, I don't know, Idaho, Montana, that you see more orange on the Christinas.
Christina, the other one.
But just saying to Christine, look at that four wing border. You see how big and thick it is? And see the windows in it?
Yep, that's a
Fenestrations?
female.
Yeah, that's either a Rifle or an alfalfa, erytheme. So I don't know, you know, those whole things, the erythemes get yellow sometimes. And so like, I'm not going to call it beyond that, but it's one of those two. Big
No
old
urethane
Hurricane females.
spots.
Huh?
No urethane spots.
Yeah, well, you know what? Nothing's always, baby.
I know that one.
You look close, you see it's got a satellite spot and a double ring. You know, everything kind of falls to crap later in the year. All the diagnostic features for those two. But just look at the border. I mean, look how thick those borders are. There's no other. Not even Occidentalis has wing borders that thick as erytheme and erytheme.
Orange sulfur, yeah.
Ah.
So by borders, do you mean that the dark shading?
The black border, yeah, you
Yeah,
can see it shown through. That's why having a backlit photograph is actually very useful in this case.
Yeah, excellent.
So the conclusion is what?
It's either orange sulfur or the western clouded sulfur.
Okay,
We don't know. I mean, you know, like it's because they can't turn it over.
yeah, this one wasn't a capture. Okay, well, that narrows it down.
Sure.
I gotta go back and find that little border thing. So let's see if I can just, oh, there, oh. And so here's another test. Might be the same. This is not the same butterfly, but
No.
again, sulfur. And it may not have enough information.
Well, Melanie, you want to take a shot at this?
Well, after that last one, there's very little other than that nice warm yellow color, some black scaling on the hind wing, and the spot on the hind wing is pale. But it's hard to tell if that's the photo or not. You know, I'm leaning toward pink edged, but
Yeah.
Yep.
There's not enough there to be definitive, but look at the round wings too. See how
Yeah.
round the forewing is on the outer margin? It's like it's a rounder wing butterfly than Christina. So that's what I'm going with too. You know, it's a photo, so like that's what you do sometimes the best you can. That's what I do, so I agree.
Okay, great.
Pink
And they
edge. Pink
they
edge.
they were spotted up there. So, well, let's see. Oops. Ay, ay, ay. When you blow it up, it changes everything. Okay, I gotta go back to, oh, there it is. Okay. And then this one, oh, this one needs an ID also.
Ah.
Was at Bunchgrass Meadow. When we got separated from the group, we went elsewhere. But you know, Medellin Falls again.
Is this in Bunchgrass, did you say?
Yeah, this was Bunchgrass Meadow.
Because I remember there were quite a few of the Atlantis there.
But that's it.
Oh, gosh,
Yep.
Melanie.
Nice, you got a nice picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it liked somebody's finger. Very good. Okay, so I know what this one is, but I thought I'd give everyone a treat. This is actually cheating a little bit. This is down in Oregon. Went down there, and on the way back, we stopped at, I think it's Oregon. Maybe we're in Washington.
Sand Creek.
Yeah. So David James was going to have a field trip down there, and I went the week before, but it's the Leona's Little Blue.
So sweet.
It's
How does
just,
it compare with the Western pygmy in size? Liz, what would you say?
about the same size, maybe. Yeah, it's relatively the same size.
That's
I
a good
agree.
reason.
I kind of use it as they both, you can really compare. They're about the same size.
Tiny.
Nice
Yeah.
photo.
It was very sweet little butterfly. And then let's see, let's go back. I don't know what this does. Zoom to fit. No, that's not it. Get that thing back. Okay, well, let's go this way. And then this one was also at our Medellin Falls field trip. And I actually know what it is, but I'll let everyone else guess.
Well, everyone knows what it is, right?
I think so.
Gloria, so-called Myrina.
John, you showed the first one of these to me at, I think, Crab Creek or Twin Lake.
Yeah. Silver bordered.
Yep.
Beautiful shot.
It's always amazing when you see them with their mouths. You forget they have mouths. And then my final one, I think. Well, maybe that was my final one. Let's go down to one more. what that is. Okay, well, maybe that is my final one. Let's go. Oh, no, one more. Okay, so this is my grand finale.
It
It's a great picture, Liz.
is. And you can see that little orange cap.
Well,
that-
and I was, you know, I never knew about that till you told me, Melanie. And
I just
it
love
is
that.
just the cutest little thing. And then Paulette and I were noticing the orange leading edge. So, you know, it's just
Beanies on the antennae too.
yeah, it's just got some very nice little orange accents.
Beautiful fresh butterfly.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So
Cheryl had a great shot. She got a great story. She was raising beans in her garden, and one day she noticed a slug caterpillar on one of the beans, and it turned out to be a gray hair streak larva. And I think it's either emerged or it's about ready to. But thing about it, he asked Dave Nunnally. This is a classic thing. I think you told me this, Melanie. Dave Nunnally was talking
Oh,
about.
yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They'll eat concrete. I mean, they'll eat almost anything. So as long as it's got fruit or flowers, they have. That's why they're just about everywhere, because they can eat so many different things. It's really a striking butterfly.
Mhm.
Is. Yeah, I saw two on Russian thistle
ooh,
the other day. That was also very surprising. And you said the larvae eat the soft area in between the stem and the branch. Is that what you
Right,
told me?
right. The pedicel, there's a little fleshy portion there. Yeah,
This
we
is,
were.
this is
Yeah,
on a buckwheat, isn't it?
huh?
This is on a buckwheat, isn't it?
Oh, this one's sitting on a buckwheat. Yeah.
Yeah, the other ones, that was mine that I saw.
Beautiful.
Okay, well, thank you, Liz. That's a gorgeous photo. All of them are beautiful. So, Sylvia, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I've never done this before, so I'm not sure.
that's it.
Let me give it a try.
Okay.
All right. Is it share? Can you
Yeah,
see-
we see the image. We also see a little notice, compare photos together.
Okay, get rid of that. Whoa, all kinds of things popping up. All right, this one was up in Meadowing Falls too, and I was super excited about it. It just, I've never seen it before. It's a lot of firsts for me, and because I'm new to Washington, so this was an exciting one.
Wow, you got a nice picture.
Yeah,
It's beautiful. It's a
She was-
beautiful butterfly.
it is a beautiful butterfly.
Everybody knows what it is, right?
Except you, John.
I
Did
know. Come
we
on,
tell
Melanie
you?
knows what it is.
You want to call it out, Sylvia?
I think it's the Ediths.
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
And
we
then-
knew.
Do you know what I'm noticing is I'm sorry, it's just the spotting on the hind wing. I usually see more copper, kind of coppery, silvery colors. And here it's almost looking reddish. I wonder if it's just worn, or do you see anybody else see what I mean?
I don't
Very
think it's worn.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my eyes. Forget I brought that.
I don't know. Since I've never seen it before, this was my first sighting. I can't say.
Well, it looks really like a good one. I should follow you around more.
Well, I don't think you wanted to follow me here. This is where I kind of got stuck in the marsh, and I wasn't sure if someone was going to have to rescue me, or maybe a bear was going to eat me or something. And I decided to rejoin you did not want to follow me into this little marsh.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay, and then this one is from down Jim's Way. And that was at Fish On. And click attach.
That's an amazing photograph.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I was super excited. Last year I went down and I didn't see it. And so we went back this year and it was there, and I was very excited, obviously.
You got to tell everybody what it is.
It's the Gold Hunters,
Yeah.
Hunters.
Pier Street. Gold
So-
Pier Street.
So
Do
somebody
everyone know why this is incredible? There's only one record, one locality for it in Washington, and it's been repeated for like 5 years in a row. It's not actually a terribly uncommon butterfly at that locality. The next locality for it in all of the world is 350 miles away in Oregon.
That
The
is
next
so
one-
weird.
The next one after that is 200 miles more away.
Wow,
Yeah, we're talking about what the heck?
serious.
So what's preventing those guys from spreading up and down the river?
In my capacity as the Almighty is a specific plan we have to make you all excited, make you look harder up and down that river.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't figure out.
Yeah.
Jim Reed lives like 4 or 5 miles from this locality. He visits it regularly. He never saw it. So nobody else did either. It was only discovered 5 years ago. It's like, what?
I don't know if Jim, are you on the meeting? He told me an interesting theory he had
Yeah.
about tell him your theory.
Okay, so this is off of, it's on the Klickitat River, and you get there on Fish On Road. And you know that Fish On, oh, that sounds like Fishing Guide.
Yeah.
And Fishing Guide lives right about 100 yards away from this spot. And he regularly goes down to California and takes his drift boat down those. I am under the impression that somehow something hopped a right up north. And it's an oak feeder, and the Klickitat River Canyon has got plenty of oak.
Wow.
Well, I have two things to say about that. One, in support of the idea. The other, First of all, these butterflies get through the winter as an egg. So they're basically stealing away most of their life as an egg. Therefore, somebody could go to California, pick up a willow somehow, do whatever, pick up a leaf, oak leaf, whatever, that had an egg on it and transport. So that actually supports the idea that it could have been transported artificially. But it's never been recorded on Gary Oaks anywhere. And so asking a butterfly, A, to make the trip from California to Washington, and B, to adapt to a new food plant successfully, that's a big ask. On the other hand, Gaia will provide. So if you try hard.
Jim, would you do another field trip there for next year? I missed it.
Yeah, me too.
I can do it, no problem, because it's only, John said 4 or 5 miles, and it's actually closer to 3.
Great.
So it's easy.
The antennae are really striking. The white and black seem to be more separated. And then that nice, again, that tasteful orange tip.
Mhm.
Well, you see what he's doing here. He's got one antenna up in the air and one antenna down.
Yes.
He's signaling to a female.
Oh.
You know what he's saying? Hey, hey, baby. It's kind of a dull, drab butterfly, really, but it's so amazing that it's even here.
So, John,
That is cool.
Do you know what kind of oaks they feed on in California?
Yeah, they've got, there's 4 species of oaks that have been recorded from. I could look them up, but I don't have them on the tip of my tongue. None of them are Gary Oak. They don't use Gary Oak in Oregon either. They use
Well, yeah, I
Canyon.
was just wondering if they were other kinds of white oak or if they were feeding on the live oaks.
No, they're live oaks. They're live oaks.
Oh, that is interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'd
But-
like to ask where in California, since I happen to be in California at the moment.
Well, everywhere in California, south of say Sacramento in the Sierra West Slope, all the way around the Horn and into San Bernardino, Kern County there, and then north, it's very intermittent all the way into southern Oregon. I mean, it gets less and less common as you approach the Oregon border. They occur in really isolated, discrete colonies, and their flight period is over right now.
Right. But another year, another
Yeah.
time.
Um,
Yeah. Because I'm in the far north, but if it were worth it, I could drive south sometime. So thank you.
do you know Rob Santry?
No,
Well, then I will hook you up with Rob Santry.
goody.
He's in Medford, Oregon, and
Oh,
yeah, he
that will-
knows that region, Northern California and Southwest Oregon, like nobody I know. So, if nothing else, he can give you some places, either side of the border, right? How far from the Oregon border are you?
70 miles on the
Oh.
coast.
Yeah. You could find a way. Yeah, I'll hook you up.
Oh.
Who am I talking to?
My name is Ann Kilby.
Okay. I just wanted to know, make sure. We'll get in touch with you. I'll put you in touch with Rob.
Thank you. That'd be great.
You bet.
Well, that's a gorgeous photo. Thanks for sharing it.
Yeah, it is a great
Um,
photograph.
Yeah. Oh, look at
One last comment on the gold hunters.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
always find it has a very short flight period, right around the end of May to the first week of June. And click at that.
Mhm.
My opinion is that that's pretty much the way it is in California too.
I think so from what I've read, but
Yeah. Anywhere from 10 to 18 days. That's about it.
yeah.
Wow.
This one was at Snow Mountain Ranch on May 15th. And I'm not 100% sure what it is.
It's a green hair streak. None of
It's a-
us should be 100%
It's a
sure.
green hair streak. I have another one that I took the same day, but I was limited to 6 photos, so it's not in here. But the other one has the white, the white markings and
Right.
stripes.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if I was seeing 1 or 2 or what. So
Well, May is pretty late for Sheridan's, but this was a weird year. Did you get it this year?
yes, these are all from this year.
Okay. So I don't like calling green hair streaks without being able to turn them over. This doesn't have white in it, so you can't even make a judgment. One butterfly, one green hair streak that often doesn't have white is help me out, Melanie, Western green?
Bramble green.
No, Bramble's on the west side.
The Western green has less white than the Sheridans.
Right.
In
And they can
general.
often have
appearance?
none whatsoever. Unfortunately, Sheridan's can also not have any either. So
Nothing is always.
yeah, nothing is always. If I had to take a shot at this as like a Russian roulette type thing, I would call this Western a green hair streak. The date also helps. May 18th, Sheridan's usually in that locality, it'd be out in March.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay, and then this one was at up at Meadowline, and I was excited. It was another first. These are all first except for the last one. These are all first for me. But my name is Sylvia, and so I was happy to see this one because I always like butterflies that have like part of my name. And so
Ah,
That's a great photograph. It shows all the characters. It's like that would be what you'd put in a guidebook.
Yeah, that's
I was super excited. I think I maybe pushed Melanie out of the way. I might have given her either Melanie or Liz one. I gave them a good nudge because I wanted in. Miss Sylvie's. I have several from China and Thailand that are actually Sylvia butterfly. It's part of their name. So I always get super excited. There's not much that shares my name. So
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah. I don't remember the push.
Maybe it was gentle, but it was firm.
Beautiful.
All right, and then this next one is also a new one for me. And I was glad that Liz put one from Oregon because this is also from Leona land. I didn't go with the, I have lots of pictures of the Leona's little, but this was my favorite that I found down there. I guess this was my year for hair streaks and coppers everywhere I went. So last year was more the blues and this year was my hair streak year. So I just thought it was gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a noble creature.
You want to call that out, Sylvia?
I think it's the thicket, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's a beautiful picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stunning.
I have
I wish,
I have some photos of another one at that site that the forewing was really green shaded. It's really beautiful too, but I had to pick one, so this is the one I picked. And then this last one is not a new one, and this is from down on Status Pass. It's not a new one for me, but I just thought it was so stunningly beautiful. I was just super excited about it.
Wow.
Now you got to know the name of that one because it's got a little tail.
Yep. Western tail.
Wow, I didn't know they had the orange spot in the,
great.
is that a scintilla too?
Yep.
Yeah, just barely.
It depends on where you are. Sometimes there can be 3 or 4 orange spots, each with scintilla, like up in the North Cascades.
And sometimes they can be almost totally pale. You can just
Yeah, they can be. Yeah.
trick
And
it.
if you're in a place where they're like that and the tail's gone, then you can't tell them apart from Anna's blues.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Except these would fly earlier than Anna's.
Not in the Cascades, they don't.
Oh, okay.
Nice photos, Sylvia.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Oh,
Okay, I don't know how to unshare.
You go to that
stop
same.
share. There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never done this before, so.
it's Sylvia's show now.
Okay, who wants to go next?
I don't know if I could actually share what I have because it's on iNaturalist on one of my pages of my computer. I don't know what happens if I hit share screen, if I could find that screen.
If you have, if you have iNaturalist up, then you should have the option to be able to share it, Stuart.
Let's see if I can figure it out.
Okay.
Okay, and select screen. No, I'm not finding it.
A big green button that says share screen.
I hit the share screen.
But then it gives you a choice, and I
Oh,
usually
here,
pick
let's
the
see if I-
maximum number of choices.
I hit the Zoom thing. That gets me to, that should get me to the, what page is that? It's my internet page. And I don't know if I can go to this internet page.
Do you have that view up on your computer? Is it?
It is up on my computer.
Okay, okay, you should have the choice then to be able to go to that particular view.
Okay, let's see. I may have figured it out, but now it says it's blocking my view. And does this show?
Oh,
There you go.
Got it.
So that
Oh, lovely.
is my exciting find. My first Western Washington green hair streak.
wow.
Saw it in Harstine Island, north of Olympia. And it was an area that was managed for tree farming. And there was a lot of host plant there.
Is that Rosia?
What?
Is that Hosakia Rosia?
It may be Rosia. I have it. Let's see if it says somewhere here. It will say somewhere if I were to find where I wrote below it. But I'm not finding where I wrote below it from the
Well, I'll
screen.
visit the site. I'll go there. It's either that or crassifolius, right?
I think it's crassifolius.
Okay.
That name rings a bell. And I started learning it as lotus or something, so that I'm already thrown off by Hosakia.
I know.
Even though, but crassifolius, I'm fairly sure is what I decided I had. And let's see, there's the field,
Wow.
and it had a good percentage of this Hosakia, we can call it now, lotus as I learned it years ago. And I want to say crassifolius primarily because that's what rings a bell.
It looks like it to me too.
Great. So I succeeded. Let's see, that's the habitat. There's one view. And there's another view. And I called it Califris dumatorum, whether right or wrong.
No, that's right. Bramble.
Okay.
The rambling bramble.
iNaturalist is calling it lotus hair streak.
Yeah.
But
Never heard of that.
iNaturalist has a lot of weird names. I don't always agree with their taxonomy. They got people who sign up to be their taxonomists because they love to be able to say what names everything are, and they come up with new names for everything.
Oh, good grief.
Well, they use my catalog, so I can't badmouth them.
In
Aha.
general, they may, but they've got all these people. What do they call them? I'm forgetting the name of if you sign up to be one of these people who then controls their taxonomy.
Yeah.
And some of them will use your catalog, I'm sure, and others will have their own ideas.
Wow, that's pretty weird to call it a lotus hair streak, though.
Yeah, that's not what I called it.
Well, it is on lotus, except now it's Hosakia, so we should call it Hosakia hair streak. At least that's alliterative.
That sounds good.
Hosakia, Hosakia, hallelujah, Hosakia.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I got much more to do with this. I can put this down, I suppose, or go on to the next, I suppose.
Well,
You know,
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, the Stewart cited a monarch in West Seattle, right?
That's right.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was it's kind of a typical Seattle sighting. In other words, once every 50 years, right? It is, like, I'm fairly certain it wasn't released because they've done a lot to control that. So it's a natural occurrence, which is pretty amazing. People got, kind of excited about that. I don't know if anybody let you know, but my community say a monarch in Seattle.
Well, I'm glad they thought so. The thing was really beaten up, and it's like it can't be anything else. It's like there's nothing else it could be, and it's like I was trying to get a good look at it and try to get a picture of it, but the thing flew within a few feet of me while I was trying to get my camera on the thing, and I know it couldn't be anything else, even though it was a pretty badly beaten up monarch.
Well, they fly like nothing else, right?
Well, I haven't been watching monarchs for decades now. I grew up with monarchs on Long Island in New York, but the flight pattern, I can't say I really know.
Keep planting that milkweed.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the times they are changing. It might be a regular butterfly or something.
You never know.
So did you want to share something else, Stuart, or do you want to stop sharing?
That's really what I had. That's my exciting find, and I had that posted on iNaturalist. I could probably go to iNaturalist page and find a couple of skippers that I posted. I don't know how easily I can get there. Let's see. I'm figuring that. Now, can I go to my observations? Will it do that? I've got my observations and it's being slow to load up. And here we have some spiders, a Noclotes sylvanoides, a woodland hare streak. Everyone see this one?
Yeah,
Woodland
Okay.
skipper.
So we got a skipper. I'm excited to see any butterfly in West Seattle, and I've been seeing that many skippers this year. A lot fewer than usual. Used to be on a good day in August, I would like find a pretty good spot and see one any moment. And this, for at my peak time, was taking half an hour to find one woodland skipper. So I counted them as special and I made observations of them. Is there something else I'll find here that will be worth sharing? We got a Lorquin's Admiral. How about that? There's a Lorquin's for you that I found. I was trying to take a picture of the first sighting I could photograph of each species this year. And let's see, what else can I find here on this page? Another Oclotes sylvano, an Echo Azure. So that was probably the first Echo Azure I could get myself a picture of. And how do we get back here? There's how I got back there. Oh, we got a Rutulus, a Papilio Rutulus Western Tiger Swallowtail. Probably the first one I was able to get a picture of that year. So I posted it. And we have we got this Vanessa Atalanta, a Red Admiral. And this one laid eggs on the stinging nettle that I planted for it. It was
Nice.
possibly the first butterfly that laid its eggs. I think I saw the what is it, setter anglewing or setter comma if you prefer, lay an egg on my little patch of nettles also. So I've got a little butterfly meadow area I've been working on, and these two laid their eggs on my nettles there. So I was very pleased with that. Is there anything else I should add here?
By the way, Stuart, we call them angle commas now.
Angle commas.
It takes care of both of them.
So here I've got a Vanessa Cardui, a painted lady. And this was a year we could see them. We usually, as you probably know, don't see them all at all here. And so it wasn't a very good picture for an ID, but I knew I had one there. And so I was able to take a picture of it and had a painted lady. And let's see if I can go back.
It's interesting that you say that you don't usually see painted ladies here. When I was growing up, they were like Oclotes, okay? When I was growing up, they would let the bottoms of light posts and along waste lots in Seattle have all the thistles that you wanted. You had thistles everywhere. Now they've tidied everything up, and all of your melitocrescents and painted ladies are scarce. So there you go.
Got a moth here if you want one. We got a Mesoleuca gratulata, a western ribboned carpet, they're calling it. What do I know it as? I've got another English name for this. It's a half white carpet, as I learned it. So,
it's a pretty one.
yeah.
It is.
I'd call it the bird poop moth.
Oh, here we got my satyr comma. And so we had one of these lay an egg on my nettle patch also. So I'm very, very pleased with those, making my butterfly meadow a real butterfly meadow.
Good for you, Stuart. That's great.
That is good.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for letting me share. It looks like the next ones are a year ago, so we won't go to those.
Okay, well, we'll see if somebody else has some photos they want to share.
Nice.
Okay, who's next?
I can jump in.
Okay, go ahead, John.
Inspired by having just watched some of the things, some of the creatures that Stuart brought into his locality with butterfly gardening. And I didn't get out in the field much this summer, but I did have a great year butterfly gardening. So I'm kind of here to put in a plug for that, and then I'll try to conclude with a curveball here that it might be an unanswerable question. But anyway,
That's why we got Mr. JP here.
I will try to, let's see, I got to get my shared screen. Here we go. So this little file is stuff from my yard. And I don't know that you can see anything yet, but we also had these fellows show up here, which are not common. Red Admirals appear even in the olden days, back at Tom Rogers when he was all over Spokane, watching butterflies here in the
I can't really see
70s.
the butterflies very well, John. Can you bring them up?
Do
All I
you?
see is that thumbnail.
Yeah, we're seeing your roster, but you're not the individual images.
Can you click on those?
I've got the whole thing up. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Dang it. It's not, it should be, okay. Let me go out and go back in again. Hang on.
You may have just shared that one screen and not your entire computer screen. So when it asks you which one.
I think what I need to do is do that. And I apologize for the clumsiness here.
You know, it's a learning process.
This is different than the sharing that I was doing when I actually led meetings back in the day, but
yeah.
Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Yeah. I was absolutely thrilled with this because I'd never seen this species in my yard before. And they have been more prevalent around Spokane County this year. They're butterflies that only seem to make it into our area once every few years and then maybe in numbers. But
okay, do you want to call it out, John?
You got Red Admiral.
Everyone knows what it is. Come on.
Vanessa
Atalanta. I just don't think it's, you know, I just don't want to make assumptions here.
What's the flower?
Yeah.
What's the flower it's on?
Oh, that's just oregano.
All
he
right.
came back and sampled it again the following day.
All
and
right.
then I didn't see it anymore. But it was lovely to have had that little visitor. Let me see who else I can find for you. Stop share. And back to this. And the star of the show this summer. Yeah, can you see? We had a monarch show up in our yard. So
4th of July too, right?
This was in July. And shoot. Here we are. This is not.
You can recognize it just from the head.
That's right.
There's a little bit more. There's a little bit more. Come on, Monarch, come out of there. Shoot. I'm not getting the right screen for this guy. Hang on a second. Okay. Well, shoot. I'm not getting my screen sharing stopped. Let me try it again. Okay. I have to pull up the whole photo first, and then I'm getting the hang of this slowly. Okay.
That's better than getting hung.
Hanged.
Okay. Here is. There she is.
Yeah.
I have had a patch of milkweed growing here for 15 years. And talk about playing the long game. This is the first year that a monarch ever showed up.
Yay.
And from what I heard from David James, there haven't been that many other sightings around the state. Maybe that changed since he wrote back to me. This was second or third week of July.
So
No, actually, it was July 4th.
Another argument to keep on planting, right, John?
Keep on planting and growing. I've got them coming up right out of the curb where there are cracks between the road and the pavement. I just let them grow.
Well, the one thing about milkweeds is they're great nectar sources for all kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
like, yeah, you know, like if they attract monarchs for larvae and whatnot, then they attract other butterflies too. You're actually providing a mini ecosystem in your city.
And I'm happy to say I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Guys are getting around. Yes. And this, he came to this little section of it is common milkweed from the Midwest that I brought in from seeds. And it's flourishing. It's doing really well.
Is that Syriaca? A sweet
Yes.
Syriaca?
Yes. And I love these plants because they actually, once you get a nice patch of them going, when they're all blooming, they have a wonderful scent. And people walking by will stop and smell the flowers and then look for butterflies and bees and pull out their cell phones and take pictures. It's fun.
That was the FBI, man.
Well, I could be fooled. You're right about that. Okay, so let me see if I can pull up one of my other little visitors here. I was happy to have the first ever sighting of a Pauletes in the yard this summer. And this one was the Sabuletti. Can you see that?
Ooh.
Nice.
Whoa. Nice. Is that
Yeah,
late?
they're I used to just see them way out in the far reaches of the county and then farther south, but I think they're spreading north. And there have been many other sightings recorded in iNaturalist within Spokane. So,
Yeah, I noticed that actually. Was this recently? Was this just recently?
Yeah, it was about 5-6 weeks ago. No, it would have been maybe more like 4.
Yeah, okay. This looks like the like the later brood. Pretty dark.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
Definitely.
enjoying a nice little piece of bindweed flower there.
Is that native in your garden? I mean, is it wild in your garden?
I would say it's our chief crop.
Yeah, well, on purpose though.
It's one of the pleasures of organic gardening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what else I can find. I had a couple of other fun things to post. Oops, not that. The one other new member of our yard is probably one of the rarest generally, although it's not altogether rare, and that would be my little hair streak. So without further ado,
So pretty.
this little fella found his way to our fennel flowers, and I've never seen one in the city before. Thicket hair streak, and it's the second partial flight. It was like mid-July. Second week of July.
It's a weird butterfly, John. It's just like the Titus hair streak. They have a beginning date and an end date, even in the same locality. They're 2 months apart. They seem to have a long flight period, and they're not, especially abundant through any of that part. I don't know what to say. But Spinatorum, this particular butterfly, in one locality, you can catch them in May and you can catch them in July.
So it's the same flight.
Well, it's hard to say, if it isn't, it's hard to say, right? I mean, you can't really put a finger on it. In the lab, you don't get a second brood, right? So that doesn't necessarily prove anything.
Anyway,
But this
yes.
was a little bit tattered too, right?
Yeah, my theory is it may have come up out of the river gorge, which is about half a mile away from us. And
You got pines
come up
down
to our
there?
yard because down there it's all drought and dried out, at least until recently. And so up here where we water our lawns a little bit, yeah, it's an oasis.
Well, it has to feed on dwarf mistletoe, right? Which is a parasite on pine trees.
We do got a lot of ponderosa pine in the neighborhood.
Okay. So it could be local.
Yep.
Interesting.
So that is the last of the 4 new species that I saw in the garden this year.
Nice.
A total of 24 for my life list in the yard for a little postage stamp thing like we got in Spokane. I'm pretty happy with that.
That's wonderful.
So one more thing, then I promised a curveball, and I will deliver on that. This is not from the yard. This, in fact, is a picture taken by my daughter up by Iceberg Lake in Glacier Park. And I have reason to believe that this would be a checker spot that just about any of us would be proud to see, but it may not be. So without further ado, can you see that?
Oh,
Yeah, it's about 10,000 feet.
No, probably about 5 or 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was
But it
hoping
looks like it's alpine.
It's the vicinity is Iceberg Lake, and it's a good hike through rocky talus and stuff to get up there. It's near Ptarmigan Pass and Many Glacier.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the common name for it is. Clausini demetus is what the scientific name is, and I think it'd be like, I don't know, Arctic checker spot. I don't know what it is.
I've seen rock slide checker spot.
Rock slide, that's it.
wow.
Wow.
So that is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I told my daughter I thought she might have something special there, so she
That's something special. Yeah. Mainly because it held still.
I wonder if it hadn't just closed.
Yeah, it looks fresh enough. Yeah, you might have a point there. Or it was
Well,
cool.
thank you, John. Yeah, I didn't think it was a Blackmore's because it's just got too much black on it.
Well, not only that, but it's kind of a pale, orangey. Blackmore is kind of a reddish orange,
Right.
Yeah. So your initial inclination, if you're going to guess anything, it might be in a sagebrush, except that it's at up at high elevation. That's why I looked at the rock slide. I said, "Dude, I know what this is." And then I try to get further information. That's what it is. It's a rock slide checker spot. Nice. Tell your daughter she did good.
He did do good. Okay. And John, and forever anybody else who wants to can field this, I'm having trouble lately getting stuff ID'd on iNaturalist. This is one that didn't surprise me that no one got back to me about, but there are a bunch of other common butterflies I put up, and Farrell Merrill or whoever else is checking those is not really getting back to us on that.
Well, okay, there's 3 things going on. You know who Farrell Merrill is?
Yeah.
Okay. Caitlin, you know her.
Yeah.
I don't go there for all the obvious reasons, you know, like I'm a target and nobody wants a smarty pants, right? Making identifications. So I kind of hang back and I'll notify Meryl or Caitlin if I see something. I hadn't come across this one because I'm kind of, you know, Washington centered, but you know, people, you know, they don't want to say, well, this is such and such. I mean, I guess some people do, but I'm not one of them. And Meryl, he's, you know, he's busy. He's a professor at a university, so he doesn't have a lot of time to cruise the net. I do turn stuff into him, and he goes in and corrects, you know, stuff. They have an AI program, iNaturalist does, and it's actually getting better. It's learning, right? But it won't learn unless you get identifications. And so if you have something that remains unidentified, it doesn't learn anything. So now you're familiar, iNaturalist is now an independent company. It's
No, that's cool.
I knew
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it just happened, you know, like in the last 2 months. And I think it's a great deal. Me personally, I really like iNaturalist, you know. You know, it's a boon to people like me, makes me work like 3 times harder, but it's good work, you know.
I spend a lot of my time doing identifications of everything on iNaturalist. I'll also mention, if you don't get something identified, I think there's a big ratio of a much greater ratio of posters than there are of us identifiers. And so we just don't have as many people getting on every identification and every posting as we have people who are willing and able to do the identifications.
On the flip side of that is I'm amazed at how many identifications are right of difficult taxa, checker spots, and fritillaries. They do a really pretty decent job, you know, whether it is someone, you know, coming in and correcting. I mean, I know Merrill is on that pretty, you know, pretty much. And when he has an ID, you know, I won't argue with it. But there's other people that will come on and say, no, I think this is this, and they're right. I mean, they do a pretty good job. I'm kind of impressed.
That's cool.
And all of the data is downloadable. I get a spreadsheet. It's like, holy cow.
That's nice. Well, I'll keep putting them in there then.
You bet.
Okay, so I think
That's all I
Melanie,
got.
you're ready to go too. Do you want to go ahead now?
I certainly will if I can share screen. I've never done this before either. Okay, so what does it say? Hold and shift to select windows. Okay, can you see anything?
Yes.
I see the folder with the images. Why don't you hit one of the images to see what happens? There you go.
You got that? Okay, so this is a story about some butterflies and a frog, and I will warn you that it doesn't have a happy ending. We will.
What, you killed a frog?
I'm presenting this in more of an elaborate form on request. So this was up at Chinook Pass, and I had my camera out. I think is the only reason I got the picture. And so I was focusing on these puddling blues. And oh, this is working well. And, you know, so they were down there right by the Chipsoo Lake, and out of the grass hops this Cascades frog. And I thought, whoa, so my camera, you know, is focusing on them. And so I said, let's see what happens. And right away, he got an anise, and you can see the little orange chevrons there. And all the other ones, at first he sort of jumped once, and all the butterflies fly around. And so that's kind of the sad ending, but oopsie.
Not for a frog.
That's right.
But what he also did after that, he started creeping. And I don't know if you can tell in this photo, but I've never thought of a frog as being stealthy. But he really flattened himself to the ground as he moved forward toward the blues. And, you know, they didn't seem too startled until he jumped again, and they would then all fly around. This one got so confused it landed on him. I stood there and
It tasted
watched.
pretty good.
I guess so. And I stood and watched this well, I told this to John. I watched it for a while and I saw several more get eaten and I couldn't watch anymore. And he just said, life. I can't remember what you said, John, but it made me, anyway, I couldn't watch anymore. But I
I'll
did.
tell you, that one butterfly found the right place to be.
I was gonna say, that's a smart butterfly.
Very, yeah, exactly. And I've seen the same frog on the other side of the lake in other years, also just sitting there as the annas and mostly annas come down and puddle. And boy, they just, they don't have to work at all. They just, grab them and have a happy life.
Well, what I was going to say, I know what I said to you was everyone got to make a living.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah. So anyway, that is my sharing. I had another story, but it's too long. So you've got the frog story today. So now stop share. Oh, this was easier than I thought. There we go.
Okay,
Nice.
so anybody else? Haley, do you have any photos, or Dave and Joe, or anybody else want to show something? No on Dave. Okay, Haley?
I was gonna say, I mean, I took some on my phone, but all the ones I have on my camera, I haven't even downloaded them yet. So I came unprepared tonight.
Okay. Reg, how are you?
Haley, have you disclosed that you live right in the shadows of Steptoe Butte?
I do.
What?
Yes, that is prime butterfly habitat, especially springtime.
So I went up there, I want to say it was around like July 4th, maybe, is when I went up there. And I don't even know how many different species I saw that day, but I mean, there was quite a few, and I was surprised too, because we've taken friends up there, just to show them the view. And we went up probably maybe like 5 or 6 o'clock one night, and there were still butterflies flying around up there.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's, super, super windy, but they didn't seem to care. They just get pushed around and chase each other around up at the tippy top. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
You got a good spot.
Yeah. I think we're like 9 miles away from Steptoe Butte.
Whoa.
So we're pretty close.
Bob Pyle tells the story of having visited that place once late in the summer, maybe about this time of year, where he saw all 4 venescent species,
Oh my gosh.
including Annabella and what's the
American.
other one?
American.
Virginiensis.
Yeah, Virginiensis.
I want to say I saw at least painted ladies, red admirals. I saw 3 different kinds of swallowtails.
Nice.
Some blue coppers, some purplish coppers, maybe. I'm trying to jog my memory here. I can try and share a video that I got at the top of it. I don't know how well videos share though over Zoom. Has anybody tried that?
I think it should work.
Okay.
We can give it a try.
It works fine because when you take classes, professors often show you a video.
Okay.
So if it shows on your screen, then we should be able to see it.
Well, let's see if I can get it to work. I'm doing it off my phone, so this.
It's experimental night.
Okay. Share. Maybe. I don't know if, okay, it might, we're gonna see if this works. Oh yeah, no, I don't think it wants me to do a video.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanna say I was able to, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna let me do a video. Yeah, it's not giving me the option to, but it was pretty cool. I'll definitely have to pull up the photos and see if I can figure out all the species that I saw. It was on July 2nd was the day that I went up there. So it was kind of, I'd say, beginning towards the middle of prime time for butterflies.
Sounds like a field trip.
Yeah, definitely.
John Bauman, you want to do that next year?
Maybe.
I think Haley and I should do it together.
That sounds like a great plan.
I have some other ideas in my little brain.
Good, I will contact you.
Yes.
So any other photos? Jim, do you have any photos? John, Carol, and any Reg? Anybody want to share?
Well, it was. Well, I have about 15,000, but I don't think
Okay, well, there is a comment in the chat. I don't know if everybody saw it. John Snyder is asking about Google Lens. So Carolyn offered some feedback. Does anybody else want to comment? Okay. Carol, you just appeared. Do you have some photos you want to share? Okay. All right. Well, if there are no more photos to share, then I want to thank everybody. Great images. Man, oh man, some of you guys are just phenomenal. I mean, that hair streak, for example, just like, man, that was just the most gorgeous butterfly, and we see them all the time, but it's just seeing those photos blown up, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Very fun.
Okay, well, thanks everybody. Next month, we're going to have Todd Stout talk about orange tips. So stay tuned for that, and we'll get the notice out and let you know about that. And then the month after that, we're going to have Bob Pyle recapping the talk that he gave to the Royal Entomological Society. So we've got some good programs lined up. If you have any ideas for future ones, let me know.
Well,
I may have to volunteer.
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you so much, Paulette, for your
Thank you, Paulette. Yes.
great programs.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you next month.
It was
Yeah.
fun. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.